good afternoon, dear all Emeritus professors. Thank you very much for visiting the University of Colombo today. So we appreciate your service. Before I just going into the discussion, I would like to explain what is the university today and how the current university status. Now, the University of Colombo, we have our student population. Total student population is 42,000, out of which we have, of course, 10 faculties, 6 institutes, 1 school, and 1 campus. So this out of 42,000 learning partners, yellow color you can see, 36.8% are free education undergraduate students. So undergraduate students represent only 36.8%, and postgraduate students we have 47.7%, which are postgraduate certificates, diplomas, degrees, and of course PhD up to the PhD degree. And we have 15.5% of external degree students, the blue color in the down. So total consists the 42,000 students in the University of Colombo. I believe that in terms of number of postgraduate students, we are having 11,000, almost 12,000 postgraduate students. So we are the largest postgraduate university, in particularly in Sri Lanka. So this is the current situation. In terms of faculties, now the largest faculty is the Faculty of Management and Finance, which accommodates 3,600 students, totally. And the Faculty of Arts is the second largest faculty. So there are 10 faculties. Now the 10th faculty is the Faculty of Indigenous Medicine. IIM recently converted into our 10th faculty. So this is the current student strength in the university. And in terms of degree programs, we are offering 453 degree programs totally, and out of which 93 are bachelor's degree programs. There are various SLQF levels, and there are 108 master's degree programs offered by the University of Colombo, and 136 PhD programs and MD issued by the University of Colombo. So totally, we offer 453 programs for these 42,000 students in the University of Colombo. And due to the COVID and other crises, we had backlog to clear. The last year we conducted, I think, totally about 7 convocations. And now we have general convocation, postgraduate convocation, and external degree convocation per year, 3 convocations. So a couple of years we could not do that. During the last year, we conducted all these, and 18,800 graduated within the last year from the University of Colombo. And of course, there are new departments established since 2016, 26 new departments established, particularly in the Faculty of Arts. We established ICT department, computer education, now given to even Faculty of Arts students and technology students, and of course, various new departments came. And our academic strength is like this. Today we have 883 academics in the University of Colombo. So out of which the 45 senior professors and 44 senior professors, 160 professors, and the 11 associate professors, 400 senior lecturers, 96 lecturers, and probationary lecturers we have 165. So totally around 881 academics are there. So this is the updated data. And we are closely working with their research activities. Now we report their Google Scholar profile. Time to time we reveal and we report that to even Council. And you can see the last column that almost 90%, 100% our academics are in the Google citations, and their Google scholar profile is going on. So they are doing very well, I hope. And we, of course, produce many research output. You can see the research output during last several years, over 1,500 almost. It goes to sometimes 2,000, over 2,000. So number of research publications we produce, and the product launch and even patent rights we have taken recent past. And as a result of all these, our ranking, the reputation has gone up in the University of Colombo. According to the Webometric ranking, we are number 1, and the world university rankings also we are going up. So green metric ranking also we can see the progress, and in recent past we can see we were remaining in the first, apart from the QS1 index, other all ranking. And we adopted the Sustainable Development Goals to University of Colombo. So various activities we are conducting. Now each and every tree is given a QR code. We maintain the digital tree inventory in the University of Colombo to cope up with the Sustainable Development Goals. You can see in front of College House, all the trees we have given QR code, and we maintain the digital tree inventory, and our task is to estimate in future how much carbon dioxide we can reduce in the Colombo city and increase the number of trees in the University of Colombo. And as you all are aware that our academics have selected to the top 2% of the world academics in recent past. And not only that, in Asia also, 2 of our academics selected as under the 100 best Asian scholars in recently. We are working in the front of foreign student accommodation. First time in the university history, we established a foreign student association in Sri Lanka with 3 chapters: undergraduate foreign students, postgraduate foreign students, and alumni foreign students. Currently, we have 223 foreign students, mainly from the China, Bhutan, and Nigeria, and some other countries also. So we are going in front that. Particularly, we recently had 90 Chinese students in the Faculty of Arts, Department of Economics, the MA in Financial Economics. They actually conduct that program. So there are 90 Chinese students enrolled, and this internationalization is taking place in the university. We want to increase number of foreign students. Now even we are having discussion with the China to accommodate more undergraduate students in future. So we will be able to go. And we are active member of the Asian University Alliance. Very recent past, we have conducted joint seminars, student exchange, and the practices. The best 15 universities, we are together: Singapore National University, University of Tokyo, and Seoul National University. All these universities are cooperating with us. The University of Colombo is the only one representing university from the Sri Lanka. And of course, international conferences we had in recent past around 15 to 20 various international conferences per year. Last year we had about, I think, 18 international conferences in various faculties, departments, and all the areas. So these are some important aspects, and our infrastructure facilities are now better. In fact, with the help of our postgraduate income, we do a lot of infrastructure development activities, and we use this the student smart classrooms, and all the infrastructure facilities are now a little bit better. And the career guidance unit also working with the students, and there are various activities we place them. And recently, in fact, we had discussion with the JETRO, and we are going to send our final year students in the UCSC for internship in Japan, internship in Japanese companies. So we are trying to send our student to foreign countries as internship training in future. And of course, there are many product launch happen. Around 15 products we produce with the help of research, particularly Institute of Molecular Biology, Biotechnology, IBMBB, and of course the Faculty of Science. A lot of things happening. And the staff training, we earlier had a staff development center. Now we converted it to human resource development center, incorporating into all employees, the 5 categories of employees: academic, administrators, non-academic staff, even casual and contract workers, academic support staff, all together. Now we do a lot of activities with staff training also. And of course, several benefits we do to the society, and we go with the society. There are various centers established, particularly Faculty of Law. They have established environmental aspect center for law and environmental policy. So that center has taken very recently 300 million grant from the UNDP, and they are doing countrywide legal environmental awareness campaign. And other centers are also working towards, particularly IIM, they are going with the various community groups. And lastly, in fact, I have to highlight that the Auditor General's report from the last year, it has given very clear report for us, our financing activities. So it is kind of a very rare opportunity we get that we got the pure clear report for University of Colombo. These are some areas where I would like to highlight. And of course, we believe that your valuable ideas to develop the University of Colombo is essential. That we know, we all are aware that, of course, 21st century, we all have to go for networking. When I had this idea, I discussed with the establishment branch. Currently, we have 82 Emeritus professors in the University of Colombo. So we send all the emails and communications to them to apply for the registration for particularly this identity card and others. We received only, I think, 42, but we are still process. But we want to give this identity card and discuss with you that you can enter into the university anytime, and your university website will keep all the prestigious your publications and contributions in the university website. And not only that, the faculties and other areas also you can access, and the university will look after you. I think that is the best thing in as a university we need to, because you have spent a lot of time here, and of course your contribution to University of Colombo we need to keep forever. So that is why we organize, and maybe time to time we can organize some gatherings and we can discuss. We would like to get your ideas also how to develop the University of Colombo and take more into the further discussion. So today I think about 29 professors agreed to come. Some have excused and some process is going on. So your valuable ideas are invited. We have our new deans here. All deans I think you might know. The deans from various faculties. Some deans are a little bit busy and having some other work, so they could not participate. We have 10 deans and 6 directors, 1 rector, and others. So this is what the current situation of the University of Colombo. So we would like to get your views and ideas, how we proceed this and anything we can do in future. So I think your collaboration with the University of Colombo will remain forever. So we need to mutually get the benefit, particularly university, as well as whatever you advise, highly appreciated. I would like to invite anyone to express your view or anything regarding the university. Or
Thank you very much, Professor Karunaratne, for your very comprehensive report regarding the University of Colombo. I just want to ask you whether you would consider admitting fee-living local students who have got the required grades, but who have missed out because of the district quota system, etc. This applies especially to the Faculty of Medicine as well as other very competitive faculties.
Yeah, it's a timely, important, very good question. I think now still we are going with the UGC rules and regulations with respect to undergraduate students. But we recently discussed in our Dean's committees also, why don't we have University of Colombo Hospital? And in future, developing that to have a separate type of education. The only thing that with the existing rules, regulations sent by the University Grants Commission, directly we can't say that we can, but instead of that, what we have done that we have formulated alternative methods where, like certificate courses, diploma courses, or postgraduate diploma, or some other can substitute degrees because directly the UGC is not allowing us to recruit fee-living students up to now. But in future, I hope it will be different. We love to have a separate hospital for University of Colombo, and I think Professor Vajira will illustrate on this.
Thank you very much for that question, sir. I think it has to be answered in the broader context of financing higher education in the country. Because now if you look at the current situation, for us in the university, we get the salaries from the treasury, but the rest of it is from earned money. So it's so that is why the statistics that the Vice Chancellor presented to us, that only 36% of our student population is free students, and the rest is the postgraduate student. That's a very important statistic. So we are dependent on the fees that we are generating from the fee-living student. But to answer your specific question about medical education, now the issue that we have is, unlike the other faculties who are doing a lot of postgraduate programs and they are earning money for their faculties, we have an issue because that's the Postgraduate Institute of Medicine, and the fee fund generation happens there. So we don't have access to the popular courses which would be generating the large amounts of money. So in the absence of that, what we have done in the past 2 or 3 years is started another portfolio of postgraduate programs which are not offered through the PGIM, so that we could generate funds in a different capacity. Going back to the undergraduate, as you know, the faculty has been taking Bhutani intake and a foreign intake, and currently every year we take up to about 15 students on free-living basis. So actually our faculty's recurrent expenditure is covered by the money that is generated from these students. So the entire recurrent expenditure in terms of all the services, utilities and so on is paid for by the foreign students who are coming in. And of course, to answer your specific question about students who have achieved a certain minimum cutoff, but because of district quota system unable to come. So in fact, at the level of the deans of medical schools, we have in fact made that recommendation at policy level. It has to be, it's a recommendation that has to be made, because it is far better to increase the intake in government universities in this current context, rather than promoting private universities, because private universities are unable to basically, there are no qualified staff. Even the universities, government universities, other than for Colombo and Kelaniya and Jawadanapura, Others are really suffering. Like if you look at even Moratua, they have very few staff members. Until recently, they had only 17 permanent staff members. If you look at Rajarata, they have only 34. Same situation in Eastern as well. So
Because
we need to have broader dialogues on this.
Not only the medicine, I think particularly the faculties established after 2017, technology faculty and nursing faculty with the severe staff shortage. Only 17 members in the nursing faculty and 30 members in the technology faculty. So their cadre is not sufficient. With 1,400 students, technology faculty running with only 30 academics. And even with about 600 students in the nursing faculty, they are running with 17 lecturers. So particularly the faculties established after 2017, there's a severe shortage of lecturers. So anyway, that we are trying to use our own generated funds and appoint visiting lecturers. That's how we are running.
Could I respond to Vajra?
Yes.
If you allow private universities or private medical faculties and private other faculties, they'll obviously offer higher salaries. So do you fear an internal brain drain, which will worsen the staffing of the existing state faculties?
So the internal brain drain is already happening. You would find if you talk to the Dean of Kelaniya, she says she is losing staff from Kelaniya to Moratua. Because for those who are living in the southern part of Colombo, it makes sense to go to Moratua rather than travel all the way up to Kelaniya. So the internal brain drain is anyway happening. So there'll be, there'll be more, obviously, if there's better remuneration, there'll be more brain drain happening. So internal brain drain is also a phenomena that is there.
Yes.
Yeah, I think, there's no doubt that fundamental changes are required in the higher education system of the country. During the short period that I spent as Minister of Education and Higher Education, there were some interesting proposals that were submitted. But I think that sequencing is important in introducing changes which are opportune. We also, I think, need to make certain that we evolve proposals which command as broad a consensus as possible. We need tranquility in the system. So begin with things that will attract the least opposition, resistance, and polarization. The country cannot afford more polarization at this moment. There are, of course, significant disparities among the different universities in the country. I think there are now about 16 or 17 universities. Various radical proposals have been made. The president recently, at a function at which I was present, tentatively mooted the idea of abolishing the University Grants Commission and allowing each university to develop on its own. We do not agree with that. The current opposition, by and large, will not go along with that. Because it is our conviction that the University Grants Commission has a vital role to play in terms of allocation of resources on an equitable basis, monitoring of standards, ensuring quality, and so on. If you do away with that, I think you will have a hiatus and an anarchic situation to a large extent. So that proposal will not be implemented by any succeeding government if there is a change. From the very comprehensive presentation which was made by the Vice Chancellor a few minutes ago, it is evident that Colombo University is making abundant use of its principal strength. I was long convinced, even when I was Vice Chancellor here, I was very much convinced that the main strength of the University of Colombo is its geographical location. No other university in our country enjoys that advantage. So that is why even in those days we tried to be innovative and to evolve new courses in a variety of fields, media, information. We started postgraduate programs in the Faculty of Law, and judges of the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal attended those courses. I conducted some of those lectures myself, Friday afternoons and at weekends. The late Justice Ramanathan, the late Justice Tissadas Bandaranayaka, they were all students in those courses. Right? And I'm happy that the University of Colombo is continuing to maintain very high standards. I have kept in touch with developments in the Faculty of Law, and it is a source of deep satisfaction to me that the faculty is producing students of the highest caliber who seem to have no difficulty in gaining admission to the leading universities of the world, Yale and Harvard, Oxford and Cambridge and so on a regular basis. That is happening. So in terms of quality, I think you are certainly keeping the flag flying. Now, side by side with quality is a question of relevance. That's very important. Now, one of the most interesting things I have done in my own life is writing the report of the Presidential Commission on Youth. So, the Presidential Commission on Youth, the then President Ranasinghe Premadasa wanted me to write that report. This was soon after my distinguished predecessor, Professor Stanley Vijayasundara, was shot dead in his own office. That's a spectacle which I will never forget as long as I live. Very vivid in my mind even now. And the then President told me that he would like very much to inquire in depth into the causes of this remarkable phenomenon, which brought the entire country to a standstill for something like 2 years. Why did this happen? And more important, what are the pragmatic measures which can be put in place to ensure that there will never be a calamity of this magnitude in the foreseeable future? So I wrote that report, or at least a very large portion of it. Now, one of the main problems that arose, which was highlighted in the representations that we received throughout the country, was the mismatch between education and employment. That is, when you educate a child, confer a degree on him or her, naturally there are high levels of expectation, right? Now I'm with academics, it's a familiar environment. I've lived 26 years of my life in these surroundings, so I will share this with you. I have an aunt of mine who is a director of a private hospital in Canby. They had advertised for some people for menial employment. And one of the applicants was a graduate of not this university, another university. Now, that boy was very reluctant to disclose the fact that he was a graduate. He was ashamed that he was forced by circumstances to apply for this kind of job. So there is a seething resentment. We have been educated. We consider ourselves morally entitled to employment that is commensurate with our qualifications. No such, not appropriate employment, no employment at all is available. So we are falling between two stools. We have no place in the city. We can't go back to the rural environment from which we came. And the result is an immense tension, a conflict within the mind of the people we have educated. So every year at elections, political parties vie with each other to increase the number of students that are being admitted to universities. Lee Kuan Yew said that Sri Lankan elections are an auction of non-existent resources. So that's what we are doing, everybody, at elections. I'm not blaming any one government or any one party. Everybody has been doing it over a long period. So it's very, very important that the University of Colombo, while maintaining excellence, should also focus very sharply on pragmatism. I think you're doing it. You know, information technology, other fluency in foreign languages. Now, students in this country are very eager to learn Japanese, Korean, Chinese, and so on. So that's very important. That, I mean, the days are gone when education was a pursuit of theoretical, you know, Latin, Greek, classics, and so on. It's not like that. Now it has to have a much more pragmatic orientation. Then you are also developing, I know, useful links with foreign universities, and you are singularly equipped to do that. That's very important. There were some problems which we sorted out when we were in government. There were long delays because of technical requirements relating to the arbitration clause and so on. But I personally intervened with the Attorney General and resolved most of those issues. Right? The last point is to do with student counseling. I think that's very important in the University of Colombo in particular, to develop those programs. When I was Vice Chancellor, we started this Friend in Need scheme. That is, students from a rural background, especially girls, who didn't know anybody in the city, we arranged for them to be in touch with a family in Colombo. Not to borrow money or anything like that, but to feel if you have a problem, there's a friend, a family that you have access to. I think that is very important to prevent this kind of isolation. So somebody comes here, they're completely cut off. So these are some of the points that I would like to make. While appreciating the tremendous strides that you are making in the field of higher education, we are immensely proud of what you're doing as a university. And it is of particular satisfaction to me because of my long and deep association with this university. And I have no doubt that you will continue to make further progress in the future, particularly bearing in mind some of these points that I made, which have a great deal to do not only with academic excellence, but with social tranquility at a particularly challenging time in the contemporary history of our country. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Any other views? Would like to receive your views and comments. Yes, Professor Kotak.
Thank you first for enabling us to come here and at least recognizing that we exist. I don't get exist in the gate, so I have to find my way through inside to say that I am part of the university. Maybe I look differently, but that is part of nature, so that is me. I want to just add something different to this, which I have been trying while I was in this campus, and I wouldn't say I have failed, but miserably failed, but I have failed. But I think it is still important that we try to do this if we can't get paid students, our own people coming here. I personally have nothing against it. I have been paying, I have paid back my loans for the country. I have done what I had done. But I think if we can at least open up in some way to enable undergraduates from foreign universities to join us. I know we have problems when our semesters didn't match with their semesters and all of these things, but I know quite a lot of universities which like to bring students to the tropical countries. At one time, we almost were there, if not for the problems that cropped up with the 10 top universities in US, because they all go to Costa Rica and they love to come to a South Asian country, and Sri Lanka was on the agenda #1. But sadly, we messed it up, not the university, but the country messed it up with the ideologies, and that's it. But there is still opportunity, because there are a lot of students who want to come to do tropical ecology, and they love to come to a country where they know there is plenty of opportunities for their subject area. So I think if we in Colombo can start looking towards that, and it's really an advertising yourself to be able to do it. We have the facilities, and through that we can bridge further the gap of meeting the needs of the students. So that's something that I would appreciate very much if you can take forward, because there is plenty of opportunity. I can tell you, they come and ask me, so I said yes, but I have had students here in the wrong ways, because when I try to get things done, that paper, that, and other, by the time we finish up with the paper, the student has got sick of the whole thing, and I am also sick of the whole thing, right? And therefore, we just don't do it thereafter. We have to make things easy, simple, a student, enter, recommendation, yes, all of that, but some of the rigmarole that you have to go through to enable those things to happen doesn't make the student happy here, nor do I or anybody who's trying to get it done happy. So that if we can look into all of those things and find a simple student opportunity here. It's not an exchange program, I wouldn't say, but giving them the chance to come here and work in our country as a student, earning the credit, transferring it there, and getting the best for him and for us.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. That in this line I would like to comment. Actually, after I became Vice Chancellor during the last year, we have signed about 264 MOUs with local and foreign universities together. And exactly what you pointed out, nowadays we are discussing with Chengdu University in Japan, in China. And we are expecting to get 20 students to management faculty as undergraduate students. And we are trying to get more foreign students as undergraduate students as well. And we have simplified the system, as you mentioned, that when I became the Vice Chancellor, I saw that when any university seek to sign MOU, it should go to 5 places in the university, all the places. We simplified it to only 1 place. Now only the university legal officer can check all this, and then we sign after council approval. So that we make the process now simply. And even all other processes now we have made it simple. For example, last week we gave professorship within 6 months. Now anyone apply for the professorship, we give the professorship within 6 months. So all the processes we have expedite now going on. Of course, for foreign students, still there are some difficulties getting visa and some other. The biggest issue is that our bylaws from the particularly UGC says only 4% of foreign student can accommodate for undergraduate programs, and 0.5% can be accommodated as Sri Lankan expatriate sons and daughters. So less than 5% we can accommodate. But unfortunate thing is that UGC never advertised that in international world. So that we now get the approval that University of Colombo going to advertise for our proportion, and we are trying to advertise and accommodate our students so we can promote the University of Colombo even via the trade officers and consulars in the embassies. We need to advertise and take more foreign students. That we agree, and we are taking the steps. Thank you. Any other comments, additions?
Yes, sir. May I speak?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to discuss something slightly different, and that's in relation to the role of the university as a knowledge-creating institution. What we generally tend to talk about is sharing of knowledge, and I must confess that most of the knowledge we share is photocopied knowledge. It's not knowledge which is created here. So I think if a university is to advance and be a beacon to society, we have to create our own knowledge. Now, that is done by MPhils, Masters, and PhDs. If you look at the statistics, out of the 11,944 postgraduates, 3,500 are from PGIM. PGIM is basically producing specialists for the Ministry of Health. We are not creating new knowledge. We are giving higher levels of knowledge so that the Ministry of Health has got specialists. That's zero. New knowledge-wise, that's zero. So basically, we are not creating knowledge through the PGI. Not that it is not important, but I think we have to emphasize the importance of knowledge creation. And that's where the emeritus professors come in and the people who have retired. When we retire from this university, the university basically loses intellectual capital. We are going out of this university with all our experience and all our research networks. And since the university doesn't tap us, it's tapped by foreign universities, by private sector, and by other universities. So basically, you're losing intellectual capital every time you retire a person and decapitates that person from the faculty or the university. So my suggestion is this is a very good step of recognizing the emeritus professors, plus we should also engage with non-emeritus but retired professors or staff so that we keep the links. And I think it's this group which can help in your PhD programs, because it is this group who can write the project proposals. It's this group who can supervise. It's this group who will have time to correct the theses and to run mock vivas. So my sincere suggestion is to take this forward and use the people who have left this institution in a very constructive way. The University of Colombo and certainly the Faculty of Medicine, I mean, if we market ourselves, there'll be enough of people queuing up to do postgraduate work here who will pay. Currently, the rate for a PhD is, I think in the private sector, probably 2 or 3 million. I don't know how much they charge. But there will be enough people who will want to do PhDs, paid PhDs, from the University of Colombo. So my sincere suggestion is to move this forward and tap the intellectual capital which we are wasting every year. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Saroj. Your point is well taken. Actually, not only the postgraduate students, the number of professors also. Very recently, I told that to the even faculty board of the Faculty of Medicine. The last 5 years, number of professors has doubled. Number of professors have doubled in the Faculty of Medicine. And other areas also, professors have grown up. Large number of professors are with us now. So there should be more research projects, more research outcomes. Particularly, I ask all the dean also now, they are doing it and they are trying to seek the people who can write research proposals to get the foreign research grants and particularly research projects. That we need to inculcate. That's one of the objectives, as you told that today. We are trying to get your support, and all, of course, we are trying to have more foreign research projects, research activities, and all these things we need to keep in. And not only that, of course, we are conducting many international conferences, international linkages, the universities, they are asking us that you are experts. So even emeritus professors also can come to our relationship with other universities and foreign countries also. We will use that. Thank you very much. Any other? Yes, there was.
Yeah, I would like to start from where Professor Jai Singh, finished his, intervention. I think about 4 years ago, some of the emeritus professors had discussions around this initiative, how to really mobilize the emeritus professors who are retired and who are basically sort of still living, in Sri Lanka, not only to recognize their contribution, not only to really give them, some kind of opportunity to participate in the university activities, but also to really figure out, how best we could create a community of retired professors who have had, very long standing relationship to the institution. Now, of course, this is not only from the University of Colombo, but also from several other universities. Now, I do not know whether there is a connection between what really happened at that time, about 4 years ago. I remember participating in some of the discussions with, emeritus professors from a number of universities, and they, in fact, also got in touch with the UGC about, mobilizing emeritus professors, not only for their own benefit, but also for the benefit of the university and also for the university community as a whole. So I do not know whether there is a connection, but I'm very glad that this initiative has been taken by the University of Colombo, And I think that this should just be the beginning, and there'll be a lot of ideas, that can be tapped. And I'm quite sure, most of the most of the emeritus professors would, naturally want to contribute to the institution that they have been part of. And some of us, in fact, are continuing to contribute in whatever way we could. So I'm really grateful that this initiative has been taken by the University of Colombo, and I'm really hoping that we could really make best use of this opportunity that we have at our disposal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. That actually this is a fresh attempt. We didn't know that. Maybe the UGC level it has gone. But I think University of Colombo, because we have 84 professors as emeritus professors, we love to associate with them, and they have done a bigger job here. So we want to appreciate their activities and contribute to more to the University of Colombo, because our future roads might be different, like more internationalization, more research projects, more income generation, and more university as a typical foreign university rather than the undergraduate teaching university. University of Colombo should lead the academic institutions in Sri Lanka. So therefore, your contribution is well expected. Any other comment or suggestion?
Thank you, Professor Kannaratne. My question is about the undergraduates, of course. Now, in University of Colombo, undergraduates are concerned, if you take the Faculty of Arts or Faculty of Medicine or whatever the faculty, the students are locked up in that particular faculty. Inter-faculty teaching is very minimum. But most of the foreign universities, top-level universities, teaching is very much inter-faculty. Now, we can observe that after COVID, large number of undergraduates are committing suicide. Probably among the students, the stress levels are very high, because once they are exposed to very common kind of teaching, they will be suffering. Therefore, it may be very worthwhile to give exposure for them to some other faculties, at least how the other faculties work and how the other faculty teaching going on. Some units can be taken. Some time back, I can remember law faculty and the arts faculty has some sort of combined project, but disappeared. Science faculty, I can remember, we had some joint lectures for the science faculty students with the Faculty of Arts, but disappeared. But bulk of the top-level universities, they have a joint programs, because our students don't know about this. Suppose medical student never know the law faculty, never know the education faculty. But I can remember at the Harvard, Master of Public Health, many faculties are contributing for that kind of program. Suppose you take the health, it is a multidisciplinary. Therefore, it is required for all the students get the good exposure. I think it's a good thing to think about coming era, because students are stressful.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Indlal. Here, it is essential work. We have some barriers for that also. One of the biggest barriers is even faculty level. Our academic calendar is not synchronized. There's various faculties are now some are in first semester, some are in second semester, and because of the closure of due to various crises, the still university doesn't have one single academic year. And meanwhile, of course, we are trying to do that. Of course, we need to promote that once we come to particularly this common academic calendar. And meanwhile, we are promoting sports and other activities, music, dancing, other extracurricular activities. We are promoting more and more with our students to avoid this kind of, I think some universities have higher committed suicide ratio than the Colombo. Colombo is a little bit better still, but we keep our counseling, and of course we get the support from the Faculty of Medicine, and our student counselors are going on. The issue is the crowd. Actually, after 2017, every year, I think 10% increase. Now, for example, during last 2 years, around 744 additional students came to University of Colombo. An entire system increased from 30,000 to 40,000. Now, I think close to 45,000 students, but number of lecturers have gone down, and all other resources are, of course, going down. So with that one, we are struggling. We need to have alternative method. Maybe we have now access to, we have established many alumni associations. Alumni, different groups now. There are about 14 different alumni groups. In each faculty now, they work with alumni groups, and of course all the people can help because of shortage of academia. Even the emeritus professors also can help us in future, actually, because the lack of lecturers are also a serious problem. Anyway, we need to have interfaculty collaborative works. We accept your idea. Thank you. Hand over the identity card for all the present professors. We are waiting applications from other professors also. We have 84, but we have built the identity cards. In fact, we are these days discussing to have digital identity card for our undergraduate students with QR code. So in future, your one also will be covered with all sophisticated things. But undergraduates, we are trying to issue as early as possible digital identity card and with the QR code and barcode.
Dear Sir, Madam, you are kindly requested to accept your university identity card from the Vice Chancellor once I read out your name. Emeritus Professor G.L. Piris. Emeritus Professor J.B. Disanayaka. Emeritus Professor W.D. Lakshman. Emeritus Professor Ranjit Bandara. Emeritus Professor S.P. Lamawadu Surya. Emeritus Professor L.R. Amrasekara. Emeritus Professor R. Paranavitana. Emeritus Professor K.P. Siddhisena. Emeritus Professor T.R. Aryaratna. Emeritus Professor Hemamali Pereira. Emeritus Professor S.R.D.S. Seniviratna. Emeritus Professor S.S. S.B.D.A. Jayawardena. Emeritus Professor M.M.R.W. Jayasekara. Emeritus Professor S.W. Kotagama. Emeritus Professor S.T. Hettige. Emeritus Professor J. Uyangoda. Emeritus Professor Harendra De Silva. Emeritus Professor W.Y. De Silva. Emeritus Professor S.P.D.W. Matthew. Emeritus Professor Arya Jayakodi. Emeritus Professor M.P. Senanayaka. Emeritus Professor W.K. Diabru. Emeritus Professor W.S. Premavansa. Emeritus Professor Rohini Fernandopulle. Emeritus Professor K.S.A. Jaisingha. Emeritus Professor M.E.S. Pereira. Emeritus Professor W.S.S. Vijayasundara. Emeritus Professor H.A.S. Aryavansa. Emeritus Professor E.R. H.S.S. Edirivira. Emeritus Professor N.D. Kodikara. Thank you. Thank you, Vice Chancellor. Emeritus Professor T.G. I.B. Munasinghe.
Thank you very much for your presence today. At least once in 6 months' time, we would like to meet you and get your ideas and views. So shall we have a common photograph in front of the college house? Then we can invite you for the reception. Thank you.